The show is called Philanthropy and Focus. The guy is called the Nonprofit Sector Connector, the one and only Nonprofit Sector Connector. Your boy. Man, I'm out of breath. I just came up 2 flights of stairs. Philanthropy and Focus, the Nonprofit Sector Connector. Your boy, Tommy D. And I say the one and only Nonprofit Sector Connector because I made it up. And you could make up things too if you like to. It could just be a figment of your imagination. Like you could walk around like I did for 2 years and tell people, hey man, I don't know why I was saying hey man, but hey man, I'm going to do a show. It's called Philanthropy and Focus, where I interview executive directors of nonprofits. But it wasn't until I just got out of my own way and did the show. January 8th of 2021 was the first ever episode, live Philanthropy and Focus. We did some like kind of playing around with the show before that, but that was the live show. And now we've surpassed 150 episodes of something that, as I say, was just an idea in my head. And I only bring that up often to say, if you have an idea in your head, just do it, man. Just freaking do it. Like I'm here today. Hopefully I'll be here tomorrow. Hopefully I'll still be here next week to do the show again, but I don't know. We're guaranteed nothing but this moment. So don't freaking wait. And I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube and I watch a lot of stuff on Instagram, and you know how these algorithms are so smart, and if you watch this, they give you more of that sort of thing, and they give you this thing. So I guess I get pulled into these themes, but somebody I was watching, I think it was who it was? I think it was Jesse Itzler. And Jesse Itzler, who's known like a very successful entrepreneur, business guy, he's like 2024, man. Like that's the year. That's the one. Not that it's like so different, but that's the one we're in right now. So just do it. I didn't know I was going to rant about things right out of the gate, but that's part of the show. You don't know what's going to happen. That's why everybody keeps coming back. All right, check this out. Before I even actually, let me say hello to my guests, but I'm not going to tell you where they're from. Jessica Hines is here. Jen Varenka is here. Jessica, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Tommy. I'm good. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. Jen, good morning. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. So excited to be here.
I'm fired up. There's going to be dancing, dancing, dancing. I'm not even sure that's right. I'm not even sure it's the right melody. We're going to talk about dancing. All right. I got to calm down. We got a whole show to do, Tommy D. Take a breath. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to look at, this is a website I want you all to check out if you haven't. It's imagineawardsli.com. Imagine Awards LI, the Long Island Imagine Awards. You've heard me go on and on and on. The process of the Imagine Awards is people fill out an application, or nonprofit organizations fill out an application. Those applications get reviewed by the committee. I've been on the committee for many years here on Long Island and also in New York City for the New York City Imagine Awards. We then, as the committee, vote on who's going to be the finalist, strike that, who's going to be the semifinalists in each of these 6 categories. Then those of us on the committee get to interview the semifinalists, and then those semifinalists interviews are written up. So the original application and the write-up goes to the judges. The judges review that and they decide who the finalists are and they choose the winner, but we don't find out who the winner is, and meaning me. Because he couldn't tell me because I can't keep a secret. Whatever. The point of the matter is I don't know who the winners are until the night of the event, which this year will be May 1st out on Long Island. I'm going to read you the finalists in each category, and then I'm going to introduce the organization my 2 friends are here to talk about today. So, in the category Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Accessibility, the Bethpage Federal Credit Union sponsors that award. The MLK Center out of Long Beach, LGBTQ Network, it's actually LGBT Network out on Long Island, SCO Family of Services, and the Women's Diversity Network. In the Serenian Associate Social Impact Award, you have Bethany House, Rise Life Services, SCO Family of Services again, and Winter Center for Autism. When you're the nonprofit sector connector, especially when you're in your hometown of Long Island, I know a lot of these people, and this is so exciting to see these names. Leadership Excellence Award sponsored by Sir Tillman Ballin, HLD, their CEO, Robert Ciato, Susan Chimera from Hair We Share, who that organization is a really special organization. I got to get them on the show. We'll talk about them later on too. Shannon Boyle, as the executive director of Newground. Shannon, I love Shannon. She's been on the show. And David Kilmnick who's the founder and president of New York LGBT Network. And then again, that rounds off the Leadership Excellence category. I'm going to skip over the Arts and Culture Award, and you'll know why in a second. maybe I let the cat out of the bag, as they say. Flagstar Bank Innovation Award. Jessica, I told you it was going to be fun, right? I told you, no worry about, man. We're going to have fun. The Innovation Award, yeah, DDI. I did the interview for DDI. Super excited about what they have going on in the greenhouse with their participants with intellectual developmental disabilities. After that, you have Green Inside and Out, America's Vet Dogs and Guide Dogs. Shout out to the team, John Miller and everybody, and also the Spirit of Huntington Art Center, where I do sit on the board, and Michael Katakis has been on the program here. The Vanguard Benefits Rising Star. That's our company, Vanguard Benefits. We've been sponsoring the Rising Star for a number of years. Birthday Wishes, which is an organization that brings birthday parties to children living in homeless shelters. I mean, what's better than organizations that are doing that? Here we share again, the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Museum of Nassau County and Little St. Nick. Shout out to Ray Mueller, who's been on the program. He's actually a client of ours at the agency as well. Shout out to Little St. Nick Foundation. And I will go back to the Claire Friedlander Family Foundation Arts and Culture Award. Art League of Long Island, Gold Coast Art Center, the Spirit of Huntington Art Center, formerly mentioned. Tommy D's on the board. Love what the Spirit of Huntington is doing. I met them through our family foundation, the Lindy Lou Foundation. Artworks, they redid our website, our mission, our vision, our value, and it is a neurodiverse workforce of people doing web design, social media content, et cetera, et cetera. Check out Spirit of Huntington. And then, why are we here today? Jessica and Jen are here from Co-Dance Co. Dancing Classrooms of Long Island, a finalist in the Claire Friedlander Family Foundation Arts and Culture Award. First of all, jazz hands. We said we're going to do jazz hands. Sure, I'm doing it right, gang. I'm an old man. We know that. Everybody tells my kids call me a boomer. Womp womp. I'm not a boomer. Gen X through and through. And if you read the right article, you know, I'm in the next millennial generation. So are we Gen X, Jen? Are we Gen X? You and me?
We are Gen X. That was my nickname in high school, Gen X.
Oh, all right. That sounds like a punk rock name. Like, were you a rock and roll star? What's the story?
I did some singing. Yeah, I've been doing some singing all along.
All right, to be continued. Please, to be continued. We will get to that. Jessica, you fired up to be here? We're ready to roll?
Yes, so excited, Tommy.
All right, let's get going. Let's get going on the show. We do 3-4 segments. We get into what is the organization about? Who are the leaders? What do you do? What's the impact? How can we help? I am the nonprofit sector connector. So the whole thing is about connecting. But if we started the show with who do you want to meet? Well, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So we start to show it, who are you? What does the organization do? So I don't know who to pick. So whoever raises their hand first goes first. Jessica's going to start us. So here's what I want to do. Jessica, tell us about you, your background in dance, how you came to the organization. We'll have Jen do the same. And then I'm just going to be a cool conversation, as I always say, as if the three of us are meeting for a real cup of coffee. I'm having a real cup of coffee. It's got like a bunny rabbit on the cup. Yep. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers to the tea. What are you drinking, Jen?
Got a little coffee smoothie there.
Coffee smoothie. That sounds good. I would like one of those. All right. Jessica, tell us your background. I know you were a dancer. I could read it off the bio, but I want you to tell this story, please.
Yeah. So currently I am program director with Dancing Classrooms Long Island, but I started dancing when I was 3 years old, and it's just I was lucky enough to be put into dance by my parents, and I absolutely loved it. I definitely gained so much confidence and life skills just going through dance my whole life. And then it was time for graduation, and it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? And I knew that I needed dance to be a part of my life. So I went on to Towson University, and I got a Bachelor of Fine Arts in dance performance and a K through 12 teaching certificate. And then I came back home to Long Island, and I am also teaching at the dance studio that I went to as a child.
Wow.
And I'm also an artistic director there as well. And I just, I know dance has given me a lot through my life. So I just want to share that as any way I can with as many students as I can.
Do something you love and you never work a day in your life. I think that's some kind of a summary of that phrase, but isn't it the truth? I have a friend of mine. We're actually doing some cool work together. I'll just say it. They're a sponsor really of some of the programs I have. Shout out to Miss Excel. Michael Gollum and Kat Norton over at Miss Excel. They do Excel training, the full Microsoft suite. We're going to talk more about that as the show goes forward in the next coming weeks. But, they sat down and said, what do you like to do most? And my friend Kat loved to work in Excel, and she loved training people and teaching. So that comes to my mind because of what you said there, Jessica. It's about how do I find out, or how do I live in my bliss as much as possible, right? Like we got this one shot at this. In my opinion, we got one shot at this, one swing at this thing. Man, how do we stay in that mode, like that flow state as much as possible? Well, I think it's find things you love to do and do them. And then if you can convince people to compensate you for doing those things, well, then you really win. Like that's the thing. Like, because I do need I need coffee and water and maybe some food once in a while, but people have needs. We like to live inside. It's super cold on Long Island right now, and I don't like being cold, so I like to live inside. That's important. I joke, but the point about the matter is, we do need these necessities. And if we can align what we do and not go to a place that we don't like all the time, that sucks. I don't curse a lot, and that's not really a curse. But to go to a place that we're not digging just to do the thing to get the money to buy the stuff, I think you can probably find a way, everybody, to do what you enjoy and find a way to finagle some kind of compensation out of that, and then you win. I think that's how you win. Jen, what do you think about that? Where you are, in your role running operations for the organization, give us a little bit of your background too, if you could.
Yeah, so totally agree. And, even though I was in corporate America for a while, the majority of my career was in software for grants management. So helping all these foundations and corporations give money to charities.
You were on
So
the other side. You were in the check writing part of things, yeah?
Check writing part of things, which I will say it is easier to read and review a grant application than to write one and ask for the money.
Oh.
But yeah, I started in nonprofit. And then, like I said, I was in grants management, and teaching was a big part of that. I was a trainer for a long time, product management, project management, all of that. And so now I come back here, I put it all together, and with that arts side to it too. So I finally found the spot where I can combine everything I love and everything I like to do in one place. I mean, this is perfect.
Chicken dinner. Winner chicken dinner. I was at an event last night. I won a basket. I always win baskets when I'm at events because I think people realize I'm kind of cranky when I don't win a basket. And the part of the reason I think I do win baskets is I buy a lot of tickets. But I was at the Big Brothers Big Sisters. A friend of ours, Rob, was being honored out of Top Golf out in Holtzville here on Long Island, and didn't play much Top Golf, but did a bunch of networking, met some great people. Big Brothers Big Sisters, what a great organization. Shout out to Mark Cox, Meredith Michaels, the team out there. Mark's been on the show here. But that's what it is. It's finding out that point where you can align these type of things. So I say winner chicken dinner. That's what got me on that rant. But because you found it, Jen, you were able to take your background and bring it together and align all those things. And to me, man, I don't know. I'm on a rant. I feel it already. I got to get off the soapbox. But listen, you're going to be doing something for the next 30, 40, 50 years, gang. Why not just do a thing that's really fulfilling? I feel like I know it myself. People stay in jobs just for the biweekly paycheck or for the benefits, but you can figure out a way I used the word finagle earlier, but to cobble together a great living by doing something you love, right? I mean, it's a gig economy. It's a situation where people find things. Not that it has to be that, because you can build something. You can find a role. And, I used to go around. I thought of this morning when I was driving my kids to school. I used to go around and go, yo, somebody's selling something that's valuable, and I'm a sales guy, right? So somebody's selling something that's valuable and that they really enjoy being involved with. Why would you have to stay in something and do something you don't have to? Anyway, that's the end of that particular rant. I'm sure there'll be more as we go through the program today. When we come back, what I want to do is I want to understand the programmatic side of things, and what goes on. And then I think as this is happening, I'm kind of hearing a theme as as we talk programmatically, Jessica, I want to, you were called Jess on a meeting earlier this week, so it's stuck in my head. Jessica.
Jess or Jessica is fine. Just don't call me Jessie.
I will not call you Jessie. Listen, when somebody calls me, funny story, When I hear Thomas Anthony, I get like shivers because that means I'm in trouble, right? But I don't hear it all that much anymore because I'm an adult. But sometimes my mother will say Thomas Anthony, and I get very shaken up about it. But I've always been Tommy D since I'm like 2 years old. So no Jesse, yes Jessica, yes Jesse. This is how the show goes. It's like real time freestyle. The show is just me having fun as we're talking. I'm making notes, the whole deal. So Jessica, we're going to talk from a programmatic perspective, what it looks like. And Jen, obviously jump into the programmatic side, but like, how do we get grants? How do we operate with the community and all those sort of things? And how do we deal with staff? And ultimately, it's going to be like I said earlier, what do you need? Who can we connect you with? Congrats again on the final piece with the Imagine Awards. I'm super psyched to have you guys in the room that night. That is so fun. All right, we're going to be right back. It's Tommy D. It's Philanthropy and Focus. We are taking a break because I need to take a breath. Right back.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Brancu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC. Uplift, educate, empower.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
Is accurate. That's right. I have to walk 2 flights of stairs up from the kitchen where I get my coffee to come up here all the way to this room just below the roof of my house. That's right. I am in my attic. And there's a song about it. So, you have to know it's true when we sing about join Tommy in his attic. That's my friend Brendan Levy from the Queen's Chamber of Commerce and the band Damaged Goods. They used to be called The Goods back in the 90s when they had a record deal, but they're on the later side of life. They're in the autumn of their lives. So they call themselves Damaged Goods right now, which I think is cute and hysterical. And my friend, Sister Tisa Fitzgerald, came on the show one time, and she runs an organization called Our Children. And we know each other through my friend Brendan Levy. And I was like, Sister T, I don't know if you know, that's Brendan singing the song. And I said, they call themselves Damaged Goods. And she goes, Tommy, they should be called Treasured Goods. And I said, I love nuns. That was how I freaking love nuns. They're the coolest. But I did go to an old boys Catholic school, and we had the brothers. We did not have nuns. So I don't know if I would have loved nuns as much if I got, slapped on the wrist with a ruler and stuff like that. But I like nuns as an adult. I think they're cool. I think they changed the world and are really special. Shout out to the Sisters of St. Joseph out in Brentwood. I was there just last week, not at Sisters, but I was at the Island Harvest. Has some greenhouses out there that we were attending, the greenhouses with my new business venture, Philanthropy Network of New York, to discuss some other point, guys. All right, we're back. Lots to say. Mick Collins checking in from Gaithersburg, Maryland, and he says, Townsend U, DMV represent. I don't know what Townsend has to do with the Department of Motor Vehicles. Jessica, does it have to do with it? I think he means Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, but I always get those things mixed up. So where is Towson?
Towson is right outside of Baltimore.
Baltimore. All right. I was down in Baltimore at Camden Yards a bunch of years ago, and we were there for Cal Ripken's last game in 2001. So that was really, really a
Wow.
special experience. Kind of a crazy thing. We had tickets to a game, and then September 11th happened, and they changed the baseball schedule, and we ended up with the tickets we had became the last game of the year. It was going to be, yeah, it was just kind of a crazy situation. I mean, it was like just, obviously a tragedy that happened in this country, and we ended up down there for the last game. Um, those were some fun times. We were young people. We did some crazy things, but that I'm all grown up now, so we don't have to talk about that. So that's my friend Mick Collins. Mick Collins is checking in. He's with a company called Pay It Forward Processing. They do merchant processing with a give back, and their net proceeds go back to nonprofit organizations, gang. So reach out to me, TommyD.NYC on Instagram if you want to connect with Mick, or on email, TommyD at Philanthropy and Focus, PHOCUS.com, and we'll get you sorted out and connected with Mick. Jessica, let's go into what exactly, and Jen, please, we're going to go back and forth, so we'll figure it out. We'll navigate together. But start us off like programmatically. What goes on? What are we offering? Jen, you and I had a great conversation, as you referenced earlier before we started the show, setting up for the Imagine Awards, which shout out to Chaminade High School. Maybe it was my education, probably only a part of it because you have a dynamic organization, an incredible program. So I just got to be the author of it, but that was, really, really important stuff. So I've never shouted out Chaminade on the show. So I guess, the Flyers, go Flyers, the Crimson and Gold. Jessica, let's get into this now. I'm trying to be quiet, but there's a lot of caffeine in this body. Take it away. Take it away.
Yeah, so our programming at Dancing Classrooms Long Island and Co-Dance-Co, it's all rooted in social dance. And it really comes from a social emotional learning perspective. So although we're teaching, whether it's students or elders, the art of social dance, we're really teaching them about connection and, about different cultures that they're going to learn about around the world. They learn a lot how to work with each other, so teamwork, and they're learning about doing something that's out of their comfort zone most of the time. So they're, kind of being, challenged in new ways, and they go on this journey through the dances, but really it's like they're learning about themselves as they go along the way.
Wow. Yeah. Like when people say living the dream, and a lot of people say that, and no offense to what I used to do professionally, but like they sell payroll services for a living. And I used to like laugh at those guys because like I was never living the dream when I was selling payroll services. Like this guy's like living a dream, man. I'm like, no, you're not. Like this isn't. It sounds to me though, what you guys get to do, you are living the dream. This is real stuff. I mean, you're empowering connection, culture, out of comfort zone. You're taking people on this journey, and you dig it because it's what you do with the dance, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's so rewarding, and it's so fun in the beginning of the process to see, they're very hesitant no matter where we are, if we're in a school setting or we're partnering with a community center, and then to kind of see them realize what they're capable of during the process, and then them really stand up and shine in their own light. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's so true.
Yeah, I think
Good.
that's such a key point, Jess. So when we're in schools, for example, if we're working with fourth or fifth graders, parents may or may not know what their children are actually doing in our program. They get a letter explaining it, but they may or may not really know. And then they come to a culminating event at the end, and the parents, especially sometimes the dads, see their children all dressed up, dancing, elegantly, dancing with energy and smiling and partnering and treating their classmates so well, and they're just blown away.
Yeah, thank you, Jen, because like I'm seeing that. So a couple weeks ago, my daughter had said, "Hey, listen, they're doing Cinderella at the middle school. Kids are doing Cinderella at the high school." And she goes, I want to go. Now I have 4 children, and she goes, it's like when you have like Look, we have one or you have 12. I think the point is having different connections and different interests with each of those children, right? And one of the things you said, Jessica, that stood out for me is that word connection, because it's super important to me. So my daughter had reached out and she's like, look, I want to go to Cinderella. So it was just a thing for us to do, right? I was so impressed. Now she loves Taylor Swift. Like, forget about it. Now I'm a bit of a Swiftie. Shout out to Taylor. I'm not like one of these, football guys. I love the NFL, but I'm not like hating on Taylor or hating on Travis. It's a great story. Good. Maybe they get married. Cool. Maybe they have some kids, whatever. Cool. Right. Anyway, my daughter loves the whole Taylor Swift thing. And she's a bit of a singer herself and the whole thing. And I was like, just so impressed with these young people. These are like 11 and 12-year-old kids singing, dancing. I mean, Cinderella, it was a musical. The whole thing was a musical. It was like 2 words, song, 1 word, song. Like, you know how those things, you know what a musical is. So it was really, Jen, what you're saying is like you said, I like how you called out, especially the dads, see this. But here's my question for you both. And it's kind of like a joke of something Jen had said, before we started. Here's my question to Jessica. It's a tough one, but can we all dance?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. Yes.
Yay!
Guess what, Tommy? If you can walk, you can dance.
Love it.
And if you like music,
Yes. If
you
you
can
can't,
dance.
I mean, people in wheelchairs,
Actually,
right?
yeah, actually, if you can't walk, you can still dance.
Yes, you can. There it is, gang. I don't want to hear, I can't dance. Wah, wah. Everybody can do it. Other people might not want to watch you do it. That's a different conversation. But you can, man. Movement is great too. You get lively. It's, energy. Motion creates emotion. You get fired up, right? Like, and that's the thing. I don't know about for you all, but music changes my day. Like, if I listen to the right tunes, I listen to a group, like I don't want to use eclectic because I'm not really sure if I know what it means, but I have a very varied, uh, I like most music. There's like one genre of music I cannot seem to, and I tried to, but it's like that screaming, like hard metal, like rock, like it's not even, I don't know what it is. I can't do it. I've tried. I used to have friends who had bands. Anyway, you don't need all that.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, why are they yelling at me? What did I do?
Like, do I need to get yelled at, man? Like, but I will tell you, I go like right to the edge. There's a group I listen to called Birthday Massacre. There's this new group I started listening to recently called She Wants Revenge, and it's kind of like gothic, but it's a little angry and it's a little crazy, but it's not like that death metal stuff. No judgment. Maybe it sounds like I'm being judgy. I can't vibe with it. But there are some groups that I listen to, like there's a group called Revolution, which is very important to me. It literally changes my day when I listen to Revolution. I can change. It's all about good vibes, bringing only good vibes. Like that is my, if I cursed on the show, I would say that's my SHIT, but we don't curse on the show, but that's my stuff right there. That's my jam. I love that. I like feeling like mellowed out and good and just on a different frequency. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but dance with the music, the whole thing, it's part of that too, right?
Yeah. It's the calm in a student's day. It's the time that they can just be free, they can move their bodies. They're not being told to sit still and look straight ahead and pay attention, but it can be their calm in their day. So
So I don't know, man, if this is true or not, but is that, I don't know if this has come from Logan or not. Logan, our technical guy behind the scenes, but polyamorous. I like that, Logan. If that's not yours, or if it is yours, I'm going to say it. Then I'm going to give you credit twice, and then it becomes mine. But that's what it is when you dig a lot of different music. You become polyamorous. That is so good. Is that a thing? Are people saying that? Wow. That is cool. That's so fun. This show's about learning, gang. We're just learning stuff. We're just teaching each other things. That is so fun. But it changes. Like if you put on, so I grew up listening to hip hop music, rap music, specifically a Tribe Called Quest. I was like very wired into their right on. Yes, Jen. And it was like, look, you could have like gangster rap, as we called it, like a lot of the West Coast, like hip hop music was like sort of like on that gangster rap. But there was like this more, I don't want to be like judgy again, but there was this conscious movement, maybe Mos Def, maybe Tribe Called Quest, that had a different theme. I know Mick Collins was listening. Yes, I know you love Eminem. I love Eminem too. When Eminem hit this scene like in '99, I went to see him at Roseland Ballroom. Love it. I'm just saying I think, I'm going to put it out there right now to you all. and then we'll take a break. But I think we all must explore our creative side. And I feel like this Mick checks in and says all words are made up. One of my kids said to me that the other day, we were talking about names, and I was like, I don't recognize that name. That name, I bet the parents made that name up. And my son, who was 8, now is 9, he goes, hey, Dad, all names are made up, all words are made up. And I said, no kidding, because there was a day we didn't speak, and then the next day we did speak. I don't know what day it was. It might have been a Wednesday, but there was a day we didn't speak, and then the next day we did, and we had words and we had sounds and we made noises or whatever. But I got off track. I don't remember which part I was saying. Creativity. We got to all experience and explore our creativity. And I actually had this idea. I'm sharing with you because that means I got to do something with it. But like where I can make some tunes and make some music and take some of this good vibes and the stuff I kind of talk about when I'm in front of a room and talk about the importance of compassion and love. I mean, my business partner Ed gets a kick out of it whenever I compare myself to the Beatles. And but I think the point of the matter is that the boys had a thing. It was about love. All you need is love. All you need is compassion. All we got to do is care about each other. All we got to do is find connection, as you said. As you said earlier, Jessica, that's what this ride is all about, man. I got 50 years left, which is a funny thing to say because I say it all the time. I've been saying it for like 5 years. So I just keep stretching out the 50 years. But what are you going to do if you're in the allotment of time? How are you going to make an impact? How are you going to leave legacy? How are you going to make friends? How are you going to show people how important they are to you? Do me a favor, do it today because you don't know what you get later on. All right. We're like not out of time, but we're out of time for this segment. I am going on a rant today. I could feel it already. So when we come back, let's put an agenda. What does this look like in the schools, Jessica? What does it look like day in and day out? I know, Jen, when we talked about the Imagine Awards interview, we talked about this whole thing about, older individuals that are getting involved in the dance. I mean, how cool is that? Some of these people may have thought their whole lives that I can't dance, man. Nonsense. Jessica Hines told me today on the show on Philanthropy and Phocus that everyone can dance. So that's just real. We come back, we're going to talk about the senior program coming up at the Tillis Center. Some of these individuals are seated or in wheelchairs, but they're dancing. Here's the thing about this show today. No excuses. Everybody can dance. The only thing I have to do right now is take a break. We'll be right back. Philanthropy in Focus.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host the program Philanthropy in Focus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Were you an essential worker during the pandemic? If you needed to learn stages of epilepsy, did you depend on advocates? Did you use new innovations to cope with mental and neurological issues? Maintaining high quality of life and keeping good mental health are what we all strive for. I'm Frank R. Harrison, host of Frank About Health, and each week top healthcare influencers, professionals, and innovators answer these questions and more. Stay tuned on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on talkradio.nyc, and I will continue to be frank about health with all of you.
Are you a business owner? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you work with business owners? Hi, I'm Stephen Fry, your small and medium-sized business or SMB guy, and I'm the host of the new show, Always Friday. While I love to have fun on my show, we take those Friday feelings of freedom and clarity to discuss popular topics on the minds of SMBs today. Please join me and my various special guests on Friday at 11 a.m. on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
One of the cool cool things, we mentioned Eminem before. One of the cool things about Eminem is he kind of uses this like slant rhyme situation. So I'm sitting here figuring out, how do I rhyme? There's no need to panic. Your boy's in the attic. So I thought we'd pull that one off. Check it out, Mick Collins. I hope that worked. All right, Jessica, let's get into it. I want to know more about these programs. Jen, you and I had talked about this whole thing with the social studies and the English classes in some of the schools. So let's just kind of go back and forth. Jessica, you want to go back to starting us off a little bit too on the in-school stuff?
Sure. Yeah. So we have a few different programs that we incorporate into schools. We have a core program that, like Jen mentioned before, serves 4th, 5th through 8th grade. And we go in and they learn social dances. So it's merengue, foxtrot, rumba, tango, swing, waltz, some line dances. And it's, like I said, it's a lot of fun. It's a journey. It's a transformation that they go on, and then it culminates with that culminating event where the parents are invited, and it's a special program.
So this is not like this. Sorry, this is not like, okay, so my sister grew up going to dancing school. This is not necessarily, hey, drop off at the dancing school. The organization called Dancing Classrooms Long Island. So this is integrated with the school day.
So this is during the school day. We are partnering with the teachers. So sometimes it's their classroom teacher, sometimes it's a special. So it could be PE, it could be music, art. And so the teachers are going along the journey with us as well. And it's when we go in, we serve an entire grade or sometimes multiple grades. So it is not optional. So everybody's all in, everybody's on an even playing field. And everybody learns and goes through the process together.
So Jen, you and I figured out that we're Gen Xers earlier, right? So you, and I think we talked about this when I interviewed you for the Imagine Awards. So I like what Jessica just said. It's not optional. I like that. So I remember something that was not optional when I was in the Washington Street School in Franklin Square in 1990 something or another, because I graduated from that school in, I think, 1990. So it was the 80s, man. So we had to do do-si-do your partner once around the town. We had to do square dancing. I say we had to because I don't think we wanted to, all of us. But do you remember that, Jen? And did you do that?
I do. I had to do that too. Square dancing was part of gym. I went to school in Port Washington.
All right, so you know.
Yep, I know.
So that was the thing, and you had to there was like this thing where you would like interlock your arm with the other person, and you would do this thing, and then it was like, remember? Yeah.
But here's the thing about that, right? It was like, okay, go.
Yeah.
And the thing about our program is we're going to introduce this to you little by little.
What does that
We're
mean?
going to ask you to partner, and we're going to ask you to touch each other, but you don't have to, right? If you want to do some pancakes, have your hands, up and down like this, but not totally touch.
Okay.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Right. And then you go and you learn as you go. But again, and you learn about the dance, and we build it up. It's not like, okay, bam, take that partner's arm right this second.
I had no idea what bad memories I had of this stuff, because as it's coming back to me right now, I'm taking like that, the do-si-do thing, and I'm also thinking we used to play hockey in the gym, but we had these hockey masks that was actually a mask, and they smelled terrible, but you had to like wear them, and it wasn't an option, because you were just talking about like the pancake thing, and I'm going like, why am I thinking about hockey masks? And it was different, man. I was born in 78. It was like 86, 85, 87, whatever. It's a different scene, man. We weren't like, there was no such thing as Purell yet, everybody. Okay. We weren't like that, but we were better for it. We're tough, latchkey kids, man. You got yourself in the house. You made yourself a peanut butter and jelly. Tough it out. Let's go.
Yeah. 70s, 80s kids. Suck it up, Buttercup.
We are badass. Oh, I said a bad word, but we are badass around that stuff. But I think that's cool. What I also heard is you meet these kids, these young people where they are. All kidding aside, we got to find people where they are and help them. You don't want to make people uncomfortable. Well, a bit. We do. I do. I like to push people outside of their comfort zone a bit. We must. But, you want to respect space and the whole thing. And I like what you talked about. You did mention pancakes. I must make a shout out to my friend Susan Combs, who was on the show a couple weeks ago. The organization's Pancakes for Roger. All the money they raise goes to the veterans, goes to programs for veterans. So Pancakes for Roger. If you're eating pancakes, do me a favor. Let me know. Text me a picture of you eating pancakes. What a strange request I'm giving you there. Hey, here's this weird guy. He wants to see pictures of you eating pancakes. Just send pictures, send it. Pancakes for Roger is the name of the organization. She wrote a book about slaying dragons. It's a really special organization, but we'll talk. Reach out to me. We'll talk about pancakes. See what happens, Jen? You did that. That wasn't my fault. You said pancakes, and I just kind of lost it. I riffed. I went.
Hey, one of the great things about our program, and obviously there are many, we use a lot of food imagery, which the
Oh,
kids love. So we use great fun music. We talk about food, right? Chicken wing arms and things like that. It's fun from beginning to end.
do you know the chicken dance? Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. I won crayons when I was like 9 years old for the best chicken dance at this girl's birthday party in the basement of the library in Franklin Square. That's my memories. That's the stuff that I don't have those crayons anymore. They're gone. But I remember winning because I was really good at the chicken dance back in the day. Jen, what about seniors? How does this work? I mean, I know that's a very important part of your programming. I want to hear about that. You mentioned the Shot Tillis Center. I threw it out there right before we went to a break. Let's talk about that. I know that's an important program that's important to the organization, but I know it was very important when you and I met.
Very important, and we didn't come up with this program actually until COVID. And, we realized like, okay, hey, we weren't in the schools, right? Schools were closed. Who needs us, right? So the seniors, a lot of them were homebound or senior center bound or what have you. And I wasn't on the team at the time, but Jessica and the team came up with the Silver Edition program, started on Zoom, of course. We worked with ESC, we worked in Port Washington, a couple places, community organizations, and it's still going. And again, it doesn't matter how well the different parts of your body are moving. It works for everybody. We adapt it for everyone. It doesn't matter how sharp your mind is. We do some fun quizzes talking about music back in the day. Again, talking about the origins of each dance. And people get to vote on, hey, which dance are we doing next week or next month? And so right now we're partnering with the Tillis Center and with Glen Cove Senior Center. But this program's open to any seniors on Long Island who want to come.
So first of
Yeah,
all,
fantastic.
I love it. I don't live very far from the Glen Cove Senior Center. I would love to, if it's cool, come through one day, maybe meet some of the participants in the silver. How did you call it? The silver program, the silver edition?
Yes, Silver Edition.
Silver edition. I'd love to, if you look at my beard gang, that's pretty much silver. But and my kids remind me of that as often as they possibly can, because that's what you do. You give people a hard time, so they tell me how the old man is. But I'm not in the silver edition yet. I'm more in the like salt and pepper edition of my life. But I'd love to come through and visit with some of the seniors. And I'm looking for something from my friend who sent me an email, because I'm going to be the MC of an event that I think might be cool for you guys to be aware of on March 14th. And if I can stall long enough to tell you, March 14th at Stony Brook University in the Student Activity Center, it's the Alzheimer's Disease Resource Center Education Conference. And actually next week on the show, the executive director, Lauren Vlachos, will be here. Excuse me. We'll be here on Philanthropy and Phocus to discuss what the organization Alzheimer's Disease Resource Center does and what the conference is all about. And I will be the MC. And it seems like their colors are purple and blue. I don't know what that means for wardrobe. I do have this lavender suit that I bought for the New York City Imagine Awards. I don't know if that's too much, but it is going to be almost spring. Spring will have sprung almost, and I might have to go with that. We'll talk about that. You guys don't need to know all that information. But the point is that's coming up. But I think when you're talking about seniors, I took I sit on board of Horseability, and I brought the mini horses from Horseability out to another Alzheimer's resource organization out in Westbury. And the animals have such an incredible effect on our seniors. But I think the dance and the music and the movement has such an incredible, because, maybe there's some cognitive challenges, but when we move, things come back. I believe that, and I think, what has been the experience? We're going to go long on this break, Logan, just a heads up. But what's been the experience there with some of the seniors as they respond to these programs?
Yeah, it's really remarkable to see how they can be, reminded, like memories coming back from their youth. And, they love the music that we use. And like Jen mentioned, we have a little trivia component. So that's really fun as well. But it's amazing what music and movement can do for these elders, and, the way that it really can bring back those memories to them.
I can listen to a Cypress Hill song and it takes me back to 1991, like I didn't miss a beat. Like it brings me right back to the emotion, the feeling, where I was when I heard the song. I mean, I remember my cousin Vinny. Yes, I have a cousin Vinny, but I remember my cousin Vinny borrowed the Cypress Hill CD when we were 13 years old. It wasn't a CD, Tommy, it was a cassette tape. He borrowed it from a kid called Jamie Duffy down the street, and we listened to this, and we should not have been listening to this album. But I remember that, and that's the memories, and I'll remember that when I'm 93, because that happened. And if you play that tune, I'm going to remember that. So that's important. We're going to take a quick break. We come back. This is going to be the lightning round. That means we're going to run out of time before we run out of words, and I want to make sure we leave it all on the field, as they say, or leave it all on the dance floor. Let's leave it all on the dance floor. Make sure we hit what we need to hit. Upcoming events, how we can help. Who do you want to meet? How's that sound, Jessica? How's that sound, Jen?
Awesome.
Thumbs up all around the room. We'll be right back.
Are you a high-achieving, growth-oriented leader? Are you interested in developing your authentic leadership while creating a healthy, inclusive workplace? Hi, I'm Dr. Mira Broncu, host of The Hard Skills on talkradio.nyc at 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays, where we discuss how leaders develop the hard skills needed to make a greater impact. We interview experts, have live coaching, and tackle these challenges. Listen to The Hard Skills on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on talkradio.nyc.
Hey everybody, it's Tommy D, the nonprofit sector connector, coming at you from my attic. Each week here on talkradio.nyc, I host a program, Philanthropy and Phocus. Nonprofits impact us each and every day, and it's my focus to help them amplify their message and tell their story. Listen each week at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time until 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on talkradio.nyc.
Are you a conscious co-creator? Are you on a quest to raise your vibration and your consciousness? I'm Sam Leibowitz, your conscious consultant, and on my show, The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, we will touch upon all these topics and more. Listen live at our new time on Thursdays at 12 noon Eastern Time. That's The Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, Thursdays 12 noon on talkradio.nyc.
You're listening to Talk Radio NYC at www.talkradio.nyc. Now broadcasting 24 hours a day.
Nonprofits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.
We're back. I gotta be quiet. We gotta keep moving. Let's go this through the joyful art and practice of social dances. Dancing Classrooms Long Island cultivates engaged learners, collaborative leaders, and inclusive spaces. Our vision is a world that values social dance as a foundation to every person's well-being and joy, celebrates the beauty and diversity, and amplifies our shared humanity. What a beautiful mission statement. What a special organization. I got to tell you, gang, if you haven't if you haven't checked out the website, or you're only listening right now, and we appreciate listening as well, but if you're only listening, you didn't see what I was sharing, go to Dancing Classrooms li.org. The LI is for Long Island. li.org, and check it out. I mean, what's the cutest thing? I mean, like, you got these girls in these wonderful dresses, and the boys like with jeans and a white shirt, like a white dress shirt tucked in, and the ties are kind of sloppy. Like, I went to Catholic high school. I wore a shirt and tie for the longest time. So I and having two boys and two girls who live here in the house, well, they're my children. That's why they live here. But having them in the house, I know this kind of stuff when kids get dressed up, and it's very cute. That's probably a big part of this stuff too. That's the fun of it, right? Like, where like they're, look at me, I'm dressed up. It's a recital. It's a performance, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah, the culminating event is incredible. And, they also just become elegant. They become little elegant children, which is amazing. And they learn how to be respectful to their classmates as they're dancing with them. We always say, "May I have this dance?" And they say, "Thank you, partner." And so they learn, all of that elegance, which is really special.
I love it. I love it. Jen, I want to ask you real quick about grants and things like that, because this kind of takes us into this. What do we need? How can we help? How do we get connections? are there specific opportunities out there? Are there programs? Are there campaigns that you guys are looking to fund? And I guess on the back end of that, I'm just going to ask you 9 questions in one. On the back end of that, it's like, how do I get this in my district if I want that? Like, what do I have to do? I guess I'm an educator.
Yeah. So if you're an educator, if you're on the PTA, again, you can go through phys ed. You can go through, if you have an arts component, you can go through social studies. There's so many ways to do it. Our programs, our in-school programs are funded by BOCES, right? So the school can get help with the funding through BOCES, which is awesome. And just, contact us, email us, info@dancingclassroomsli.org, and we can hook you up, or go to your school, have them contact us. We were in 29 schools before COVID, where we were only in 10 this year.
Really?
And this is a program that serves every student. As Jessica said, all the classes in the grade participate, whether they're bilingual, whether they're special ed, whether they're general ed. And what the teachers say over and over again is, what was amazing is all the kids mingled, everybody worked together, and you didn't know who was who.
I love that. Yeah. I love that too. Shout out to the educators and your guys' team for making it accessible for everybody. I dig that. What age group? Because I'm thinking, so I got a kid in the elementary school, 2 in the middle school, 1 in the high school. Like, where is this relevant? Well, not relevant. It's relevant everywhere, but where do you guys plug in the best?
Yeah, majority of our programming right now is 4th through 8th grade.
Awesome.
So, sometimes we go into the elementary schools and we hit them in the 4th or 5th grade, or sometimes we go at the middle school level as well.
All right. Well, I want you guys in my district. We'll talk about it offline, because I think my kids would dig this. And not only would they dig it, I think, you talk about they become elegant. I think it transforms somebody too, right? Like, oh, I didn't even know I could dance. That's awesome. There's a skill I didn't know I had, or there's something I worked on and now I can do. And you kind of project a different personality too when you're doing this. May I have this dance? Thank you, partner, et cetera, et cetera. The things you said, it's it's a little different than when your kid just says, "Come on, bro." And that's what I get from some of my children, and so does my wife. And I'm like, you can't call your mother bro. That doesn't actually work. But I don't know. When your dad's Tommy D, maybe that's the way it is. I don't know.
And at the end of our program, they don't address each other that way anymore. They don't address the teachers that way anymore. They have a whole new level of respect and teamwork and confidence. One of my favorite quotes from the website that we had on our website, and I saw this before I even started working here, was one of the children who went through the program said, before I just used to sit at lunch with my 3 friends and that was it. And now we all sit together because we're all friends.
I think this happens to us as adults too. I was out at a networking event last night, and I met several of those, as many of you know, but we end up getting cliquey as adults and certainly as kids. And gosh, what about the opportunity of these people who you may never have met? And now, to your point, Jen, they become lifelong friends. And because they have a rapport, they have something in common, right? It's like, well, I sit with these 3 kids because I don't know, because we grew up on the same block and we know each other and we play ball together. But aren't you robbing yourself of so many opportunities if you don't mix and mingle? And your program sounds like, if I can, a catalyst that gets these kids engaged with each other that they may not have. You might have gone through 12 years of school together. You're like, yeah, I kind of knew Susie, but didn't really know her, and you just kind of go, my thing is always like, when I'm connecting people, I'm doing this thing with my hands, gang, where I'm making outward and then inward with my hands, because I sometimes am the thing that forces people to connect that may not have connected. And I hear your program as something that makes these young people connect. And now they have their world has changed. That's what you're doing. You're changing worlds. There's a coffee mug up here. Oh, here it is. It says, no big deal. Just changing the world. That's what you're doing. Shout out. You get the mug today. No big deal. Just changing the world. Oh, cheers. Cheers, everybody.
That gets some jazz hands. Some
jazz hands, man.
applause,
You love
right?
jazz hands. I'm going to be walking downstairs doing this with my kids. They're going, what's wrong with him now, man? What's his deal now?
I think this is applause in sign language too, right?
Well, I also think this is hot right now too, like the snaps. Snaps is cool. Snaps is like, you know, if you're with it, you snap, and clapping is out, man. You got to snap. What's upcoming for the organization? How can we help? Who do you want to meet? You know, first of all, the Imagine Awards, super psyched that we're going to be in the room together that night. I cry only every Imagine Award, only every time do I cry, because the videos are incredibly poignant and they tell great stories. Tell me, aside from that big event, the Imagine Awards in May, what else do you all have coming up and how can we help?
Yeah, well, we also have a Colors of the Rainbow team match coming up, which is a competition for all schools that went through our program. They send a team of 12 students to participate, and it's a really fun community event, and everybody gets a medal, and we get dressed up, and they get to meet students from other schools on Long Island. So that's on Wednesday, May 8th. And
Wednesday, 8th. What time?
that is at 6 o'clock.
Where is that located?
That is at Woodmere Middle School.
Shout out to the 5 towns, Woodmere. So check this out. Here's an offer. Now these kids are going to be all dressed up, so this might not be the appropriate offer, but I'm going to make it anyway. You tell me later on if you want it or not. My dad owns the Ralph's Italian Ices out in Huntington. I'd be happy to come through and serve Italian Ices after every. Yeah, we're in. Jessica, it looks like we'll bring Italian Ices. You just tell me how many people we need. May 8th. It's a Wednesday in the evening. We'll work it out. I'll come through. We'll scoop Italian Ices for the kids. Because that's what we do here on the show. We're talking about give back, and I think what a way to celebrate, you know, an accomplishment. And you said Colors of the Rainbow. Everyone's favorite Italian ice is rainbow. So the rainbow, we can just scoop a bunch of rainbow. So look, if the boy's white shirt gets stained with a little bit of blue ice or red ice, it is what it is, man. You buy another one. You'll go to my favorite place, TJ Maxx. You pick up another shirt real quick. So that's another event coming up. So that's May 8th. What else? What else we want to talk about coming up?
You know, we're looking for funders, of course. We're looking for volunteers, and we're looking for board members with energy, anybody who's interested in the arts, interested in kids. You know, I'm not going to quote stats here, right? I don't want to bring down the show, but just, you know, so many stats proving how this helps people young and old really in their lives. Like you said, the confidence, everything. So check us out, join us. Join us on May 8th. Really see the kids in action. They're amazing.
My friend Yolanda Rubano Gross is down that way in the 5 towns area. If she knows I'm coming through to Italian Ices, maybe we can hang out. She and I actually went to an event together, which one time I had on the show. I had Friends of Karen on the show. Yolanda was watching on Facebook. We were talking during the show, kind of like just this going on. And so then like 4 months goes by and she goes, I have on my calendar I'm supposed to be going somewhere with you and wearing an emerald green dress, and I don't actually know where it is. And I said, to be honest with you, I don't remember either. So we had to figure out it was Friends of Karen. It was the Emerald City event. So Yolanda is the CEO of Options for Community Living. Big fan of my show. Good, just incredible leader, but big friend of mine. And I love you, Yolanda. And maybe I got to get Yolanda to meet us down there. Anything we want to leave them with? We got 1 minute before we send everybody on the way. Jen Varenka, take it away.
Yeah, talking about community organizations, we don't just work in schools. We work with community organizations, whether it's with kids, whether it's with the Silver Edition. We can do after school. We can do shorter programs if you need. You know, let's get everyone on Long Island dancing.
Dancing, boom, 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 boom. There it is again. I don't know. It's like things just happen. Jessica, what do you want to leave us with before I send you on your way?
Just know that every single person can dance, and it brings so much joy and connection, which is needed more than ever in our communities. So please come find us, and we will find a way to bring some joy and some dance into your lives.
I love it. And you know what? I'm reading between the lines. When Jessica says everybody can dance, then I'm hearing her say everyone can sing. And unfortunately for you all, I like to do that, whether you like it or not. You know, I had a teacher when we were in high school, and he said, music needs to be pleasing to the ears. Well, I don't know. You'd have to tell me if I'm a good singer or not. Anyway, you can let me know next week. Jessica Hines, program director. Jen Varenka, operations director, Dancing Classrooms, Long Island. My new friends, Italian Ices on May 8th. Reach out to me, gang. We'll figure it all out. If you want to get more information from them, you can reach out to me by email, Tommy D at Philanthropy in Focus, PHOCUS.com, or on the Instagram, which I like, TommyD.NYC. I am so jazzed that you were both here. Let's do one more. How about jazz hands? Give it a jazz hand. How do we do it? Like, I do a noise. I do a sound effect. Make it a great day. We'll see you next week. Laura Vlachos will be here with me. We'll be talking about that big event they have coming up. Logan, thanks for doing all what you do and helping us out. Mick Collins and all everybody else, Robert Rouse, everybody checking in on the chat and checking in on the social media stuff. Make it a great day. I love you all. Bye.
Non-profits need connections to move in good directions. So cut through all the static. Join Tommy in his attic.